Hey guys, Emily here, and I'm back with my season finale recap of Once Upon a Time. Since this week's episode was 2 whole hours long, I decided that instead of doing a traditional recap, I'm going to pick my top 10 moments from the finale and rank them in order of my favorite. So, here's my number 10. My number 10 moment is Hook being jealous of himself. Back in the past, Hook and Emma were on this time-traveling adventure, and they happened to come in contact with the Hook of the past. I'm so happy that they took advantage of this opportunity with the time-traveling plotline. Adam and Eddie knocked it out of the park with this one, with a total comedic relief moment in this episode. Hook sees Emma getting ready to flirt with his former self, and he gets jealous of himself in the past. I thought it was absolutely hilarious, but the best part was it wasn't only funny, it was also kind of deep. Because Hook's looking at the man he used to be. He's no longer the same person anymore. He's grown a lot in the last season and a half. And to see him get jealous of his former self getting to even interact with Emma was amazing. And it spoke depths about how far he's come so far in this season and just overall his general arc. And I absolutely loved this moment. The best part was when he drunkenly carries Emma over the threshold of the Jolly Roger and proclaims, "Welcome aboard the Raleigh Dodger." Calm down, he totally killed it with that moment. Drunk Hook, definitely one of my new favorites. My number 9 moment is the Hook and Charming fireside moment. Hook and Charming had this totally awesome bonding conversation that they've never really got to have in real life, but I totally think they would if tensions were a little lower and they actually had time to kind of bond as the bros we all know they kind of want to be. They're sitting there talking about how Charming is going into this marriage with Abigail now that Hook and Emma messed up everything, and Snow and Charming haven't really met yet, or they have met, but they're not on the same track as they used to be. And Charming says, "Oh, like, I always thought I was going to marry for love, but now I'm marrying for a business transaction. I don't even know if I really believe in true love anymore." And obviously, if Prince Charming doesn't believe in true love, that is definitely not a good situation. So Hook knows what he's talking about, and he says, "Hey, mate, listen, I used to feel the same way as you did, but then I met the right person and everything changed." And Charming asked him, "Oh, Princess Leia," which is funny, is the pseudonym Emma took on in the fairy tale world of the past so that she wouldn't cause any problems by saying that she was Emma. And he says, "Yes, I would go to the ends of the earth for her, or time," because clearly he followed her down a time portal, so he would really do anything for Emma at this point. This moment was so sweet, and then it got even better. He said, Charming goes, "Oh, and she must feel the same way about you, right?" And he's like, "Well, I'm not so sure." And Charming's like, "Oh, is it her family?" And Hook goes, "Yeah, it's her parents. I don't really think that they approve of me." And in one of my favorite moments, obviously, Charming says, "Well, after all you've done to try and save her and help her, they would be crazy not to." So it's kind of like Hook just got Charming's blessing via the past, and I don't know, it was one of my favorite moments in this episode, and I thought it was a really sweet moment. Finally got to see some bonding between David and Hook, even though it was not in the present, but hopefully maybe David will remember that moment and be like, "Hey, wow, yeah, Hook really, really likes Emma. And you know what, he's not such a bad guy." My number 8 moment was when Hook and Emma ran into each other during Hook's planned rescue from her in the dungeon. Best part was when he walks in and says, "Swan, what are you doing? You're preventing me from performing a dashing rescue." And Emma goes, "Hey, the only one who saves me is me." It totally reminded me of Meg from Hercules, like, "I'm a damsel, I'm in distress, I can handle this" kind of moment, which I totally think is Emma's personality to a T. And I love that Hook appreciates that about her. He loves that she takes charge. He loves that she is just doesn't need help from anyone, and she's a totally independent person, and it was definitely one of my favorite small but awesome moments. My number 7 moment was Emma's first princess moment. This is something that was a little bit out of character for Emma because we all know that she's been portrayed as the lost girl, and she hasn't ever really been able to come to grips with the fact that she is truly a princess. And this moment came finally when she got to don a ball gown and go to her very first ball with Hook in tow. They went to King Midas's castle and went to Abigail and Charming's engagement ball. And first she's like, "You know what, I don't really get the whole point of all these balls. I don't get why they're so special. And then the instant she sees all the people dancing and all the pretty dresses, it's like it clicks. And Jennifer Morrison knocked it out of the park with her emotion. Just you could see the second it switched in her mind, like she had that oh my gosh princess moment. And to see her and Hook dancing together and the fact that he knew how to dance, it just everything about this scene was so great. Seeing Emma in that gorgeous red ball gown, like what she was born to be in, it was a great moment, especially a great moment for Emma's character. My number 6 moment is the fact that no matter where they were and what the situation, Snow and Charming were destined to fall in love. Obviously, we all know that Snow and Charming are the true love couple of this show. They're the whole foundation of everything the show stands for. And it was no surprise to see that there was parallels between this episode and the episode they fall in love, Snow Falls, as the first part of this episode was called Snow Drifts. And you see that Snow and Charming, even though their timeline gets messed up by Emma and Hook on their time-traveling adventure, they still, when they first get their encounter of Snow is stealing his jewelry from him, she still knocks him over the head. He still says, "You're a girl," and she replies, "No, woman." And then she still gets away, and he still screams after her, "I will always find you." It was the perfect moment, and seeing all the little nuances and all the little new tweaks to their story, it was a great refresher on one of my personal favorite episodes ever, Once Upon a Time, and I really loved it. And obviously, watching Jennifer Goodwin and Josh Dallas act out these things, and the fact they used the original scenes for some of it was perfect. Because watching them fall in love in real life and on screen has been such a great thing about this show, and that's why it's my number 6. My number 5 moment of the finale was the fact that Emma and Hook ended up messing up Regina and Robin's relationship. I mean, it wasn't my favorite moment in terms of, oh, I'm so happy this happened, but it was definitely a shocking moment to say the least. The prisoner that Emma and Hook end up bringing back from the past so that they can prevent her from dying, but obviously they can't leave her in the past because she could change something in the timeline, was Robin Hood's wife, Marian, who he has assumed all this time has been dead. So when they finally see each other again, he instantly is overcome with emotion because clearly this was like the love of his life and he thought she was gone. And it's Roland's mother, and there's so many complications, and to see Regina instantly react to this. And then the best part was when she said, "You're exactly like your mother, you don't think of consequences before you act," and I thought it was a great way to tie in finally some angst for Robin and Regina. Their relationship was just going a little bit too swimmingly, and we all kind of were waiting for the other shoe to drop, and the other shoe that dropped was pretty big, so it's going to be interesting seeing going forward for next season how Regina is going to overcome this. Obviously, she's done a lot of growth in her character, and we don't want to see her revert, and I don't think she will, because now she has a life, she's not the evil queen anymore, so I can't wait to see how they go forward with this, and the angstiness between their relationship, and they were destined to be together, so the course of true love never really did run smoothly, so hopefully we'll see some angst next year for Outlaw Queen, and we'll also see some, hopefully, happiness. My number 4 moment of the finale was when Emma thought that Snow was dead. Seeing Emma's emotional reaction to thinking that Snow White was dead was one of the best parts of this episode, basically because of Jennifer Morrison. She killed it in her performance overall in this episode, but this part was one of my favorites of hers. The raw emotion she was displaying killed me, and to see that she instantly took solace in Hook's arms and he sat there and comforted her made it even better. Thinking that Snow was dead was definitely a great way to throw in Emma realizing, maybe putting things into perspective of what her life is like, where it was going, because now she realized what she was missing, and that leads me to my number 3 moment. My number 3 moment was Emma finally admitting where her home was. Down in the vault, when they think that they have no way to get back to Storybrooke, Hook kind of pushes Emma to realize that maybe she does have her magic still within her, and she's just kind of using it as a crutch so she can get back to New York and not have to worry about anything. But she says, "No, I finally realized that I know where my home is, and what made me realize that was seeing my mother die. Knowing that all this time I've known her, I've kind of held her at arm's length, and now seeing that she was gone, and there's chance that seeing that she was gone, and maybe there was a chance that I was never going to be born and my whole life was going to be different, just totally put things in perspective for her. And she finally realized that Storybrooke with her parents is her home. She said, I never miss my parents more than when I was with them and they didn't know who I was. She finally realized that she needs to stop running. She finally found a place that when she's gone from it, she just misses it. And I thought that was a totally beautiful moment. My number 2 moment came at the very end of this episode, and it had to deal with where we're going next. The big reveal that Elsa and Frozen are coming to Once Upon a Time. I absolutely freaked out. I had no idea what was going to happen when I saw that silvery figure rising up from the time portal. I thought, maybe it's a genie because there's a bottle. But they just did Wonderland, they did Agrabah, so I didn't think that was going to be it. Then the second it started pouring out and I saw the blue dress, I thought, is that Catherine or Princess Abigail? Like, what does that mean? This doesn't mean anything. The second she took off those gloves and shot that magic down at the ground, I knew that it was Elsa and I freaked out. And hearing now today, the day after the finale, Adam and Eddie discussing all their plans for her, how it's not just a marketing ploy, it's not some kind of Disney promotion. They had to beg Disney to get Elsa. So I think it's going to be so awesome. They said they really want to do the character justice. They're probably not going to tweak her story at all. They're just going to put her into the world. So I think having an awesome anti-hero, misunderstood, come in, I think it's going to be great. Already looking forward to season 4. After that big Frozen reveal, you're probably thinking, what could have possibly topped that? Well, I have it. It's my number 1 moment from the finale. My number 1 moment from last night's finale definitely has to be when Hook told Emma that he gave up the Jolly Roger to come back to find her in New York. Emma, he realizes now, is more important than his ship, and he literally gives up his home so he can come help Emma get back to hers. I thought that was such a beautiful thing. The writing, everything about that moment was so beautiful. The look on Emma's face when Hook told her that he traded the Jolly Roger for a magic bean to get to New York to find her. The sincerity, the emotion was beautiful. Jennifer Morrison, amazing. Colin Donahue, amazing acting in this scene. And the best part of it all was that Hook and Emma shared a beautiful, amazing, wonderful kiss that was so romantic, and it finally solidified their feelings for each other. And I can't wait to see what they're going to do with that coming up in the next season, how they're going to act, if they're going to be in a full-blown relationship, what's it going to be like. And one of the best parts about that was during their kiss, they cut to Rumple and Belle's wedding, and they overlaid their vows over Hook and Emma kissing, and then Mary Margaret and David being together, and Regina and Robin, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful way to tie in all the couples on the show, and I loved it. It was my favorite moment of this whole episode, and that's why it's my number 1 moment. Thank you guys so much for joining me for my top 10 moments of the Once Upon a Time season finale. You can go check out on VRO. I just chatted with Keisha, Rachel, and Amy about the season finale. We had some interesting things to say about that. My blog is up on thevro.com, and I'm excited that for next season, can't wait to see what they bring with Elsa. I will be back next season blogging, and I'll also be available to be an on-air host next season as well. So you'll be seeing lots and lots of me with Once Upon a Time. That is where I'm going to leave you. Hope you get through the 3 months of this hiatus. We're going to stay strong together. If you want to chat with me on Twitter, I'm at @EmilieXMarieX on Twitter, Instagram, and I'm on Facebook too, Emily Kanapka. It's great chatting with you guys, and I'll see you next time.